Hello, everyone. Now, while I am very well aware the media is rife with huge topics like Ahmed Arbery and Obamagate, information about those things is consistently coming out, and frankly, it's topics I'd rather save for the Moisky Live political recap happening tomorrow on the Moisky Live channel, linked down below at 9:30 p.m. GMT or 4:30 p.m. EDT. I tend to go off on tangents about larger topics there, so I will hope you join Omegon and I for that tomorrow. No, but today I would like to take a step back and talk about something ironically near and dear to my heart. So first, let me explain something. If you do not know already, I am a member of a LARP community, a live-action roleplay community, in which 8 times out of the year I will travel to a campsite, stay there for a weekend, don armor, and grab my trusty fake sword, and proceed to beat my friends with plumbing supplies. It's great fun, a good stress reliever, and always enjoyable to not necessarily have to be me for a weekend. However, due to the COVID lockdowns, we have been unable to meet and play. This is stressful for the plot team, as well as players who undoubtedly are struggling with an itch to go and meet up with friends, go outside, and forget about all this for a while. Yes, I know there are risks, but this isn't a perfect world, you know? But do not fret, friends of LARPers, because if there is one thing that we do very well, it is crafting and purchasing new armor and garb for the next event, whenever it may be. Now, if you are not a LARPer, you may not realize this is a thing that happens. Even more so, if you are not a LARPer, and you see a gent walking around in full armor, holding a sword, you may get concerned. Well, here we go. Gun-toting police swooped on suspicious swordsman amid fears he would launch an attack, only to discover man on his daily exercise in medieval knight fancy dress. This is already wonderful given the context. Armed police swooped on a suspicious swordsman they feared would launch an attack, only to find it was a fancy dresser out on his daily exercise. 3 gun-toting policemen from the firearms unit were called by after families who spotted the mystery knight at Hendre Lake in St. Mellons, Cardiff. The 999 callers feared the swordsman would launch an attack with the 3-foot weapon. Now don't get me wrong, in the UK, you guys have folks who may run around with swords and commit crimes. We've had it here in the US, but it's much stranger as far as I'm aware, so I do not think cops would be called on a group of LARPers here. One sole LARPer in full garb walking around? Okay, maybe. But this image is eerie, regardless. I mean, the guy looks like a Sith Lord. He needs a shield, though. Always carry a shield. The medieval knight was confronted at gunpoint, ordered to put down the blade. Police were left bemused to learn that the man was just out for a walk in his fancy dress knight costume at the lake beauty spot. A spokesperson for South Wales Police told Mail Online at 3:10 p.m. on Wednesday the 13th of May, South Wales Police received a report from a member of the public that a man was seen at Hendre Lakes in Cardiff with a sword. Officers were deployed to the scene where they located a young man who was in fancy dress carrying a toy sword. No criminal offenses were committed and the man was given suitable advice. Medical technician Mike James, 31, who was out with his wife and son, said the whole thing was really surreal. He looked like something out of Assassin's Creed. We saw this guy walking around in this knight's outfit and carrying a sword. Now, to give the cops credit, look, if someone calls about someone wielding a weapon, I fully understand their response. I am certainly glad these fellows took it in stride, as opposed to the fucking Canadian police who essentially detained a stormtrooper for having a plastic blaster. Fucking dickheads. I thought, that's a bit weird, but I thought he must be an actor or something, so I didn't think much more of it. About 5 minutes later, the armed police turned up. They said they'd had reports of a suspicious-looking person, and we knew straight away who they were talking about. I told them it looked like he was doing laps of the lake and that he should be coming around shortly. He continued, the police ordered him to put the sword down, and then they confronted him. They had a chat with him for a couple of minutes, and apparently the guy told him he was trying out a new outfit, and he was walking around the lake to get used to the weight. The armed police were good as gold, and even had a picture with him afterwards, before letting him go on his way. I don't know what the sword was made from, but it looked real enough. The outfit did look heavy. I'm not sure it was proper chainmail, but it made a real tinny noise as he was walking past. Looking at the weapon up close and hearing from the armored individual, I'm sure is why the police ended up being much more calm about the whole thing. Now, I will say, from a LARPer's point of view, especially if you're going to be wearing stuff for an entire weekend, it is a wise decision to get all your stuff broken in. Leather straps, boots, whatever you have. It's important to break that stuff in. Maybe, however, in this case, he could have left the sword at home. But those are my thoughts today. Shorter one because I wanted to have a bit of fun with the whole thing. But let me know if you guys have ever gone LARPing before, are interested in it, and if you were to go LARPing, what kind of dress would you wear? Thanks everyone for joining me. Be sure to like and share if you think I deserve it, and I will see you all soon.